Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my top 5 favorite moments, going to be counting them down for The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 6, which was called Consumed. Alright, so did the review last night. If you guys are looking for the actual full review, I'll put an annotation right here, as well as a link in the description. You guys can go ahead and click it and check it out. It's a lot more in-depth, 15 minutes. So in this one, we're just going to be counting down the top 5 best moments from this week's issue from Consumed. Really enjoyed the issue. Some people still not really liking kind of the slower pace, which the last few episodes have been going at since episode 3, but when it comes to The Walking Dead, you know, we go through different villains. You know, we had the Hunters, we had Terminus, we had all those things that happened. You know, they have to build up a new story, and we're also getting a lot of character development. We learned a lot about Eugene. We've gotten to see a lot of scenes with Carol now. We've gotten to find out where Beth is at and get a good idea of the characters she's around and involved with to get some new villains right now for the series that Rick's group is facing off against. So, you know, in order to do that, to have all that character, you know, concentration, we have to have a bit of a slower, you know, time. That said, this week's episode, we did still get to see some amazing shots of the city, and that's why it makes this top 5 list difficult for my top 5 best moments of the episode, because there were so many shots of the city, and once you watch this one in HD, man, it looks beautiful, you know. So many great just visual scenes of them looking out windows, or them just, you know, on the bridge, and you can see the whole background, and just an amazing looking episode with a super exciting ending, right up until the point when Noah shows up. You know, right after that, you know, everything after that is super exciting, but even with just the zombies around in the city leading up to there, and you know, I feel like they kind of went big on this episode in terms of you know, the environment, and compared to what we're used to, compared to always seeing forests and always seeing, you know, small things like that with Terminus and that, it was really cool to see a full-on city zombie apocalypse. So let's count them down. Number 5 is going to be at about 9:20 in the episode, 9 minutes and 20 seconds. It's when Carol and Daryl are kind of just moving in. It's really, really dark and everything. And there's a shot where you can see the walkers starting to come out as they're going to take shelter, find a place to take shelter. And you can you see them come out, and it's real dark, and you really hear them more than you see them. You see a few starting to come, and then you hear the moans, you know, you hear like a rumble of all the different moans as the zombies are coming out. Really freaky, really scary, and I really liked it a lot. It kind of reminds us of why you don't go into Atlanta. You know, why Rick said that Atlanta belongs to the dead now, and to stay out, you know, when he was trying to contact Morgan by walkie-talkie. So yeah, that was just a really cool one to set the mood for, you know, what kind of environment Daryl and Carol are entering. You know, it's not what we're used to. It is heavily infested with zombies, and you need to watch your ass, in other words. So great scene there. Number 4 is going to be when they drive into Atlanta. To be specific, when we see the same shot that we saw with Rick as he rode in on horseback during the day, this one we see Daryl and Carol driving in at night. Same road, looks pretty much the same, just even more destroyed, even worse shape than when Rick was there. It was such a cool scene just to get to see that. You know, brought back a lot of memories of the first season, and just kind of where the characters have come, how different they're entering the city now versus when we were back then with Rick, and just I just really loved how they used that, as well as other stuff too, like the hitchhiker sign and a lot of the other things to tie back into previous things of The Walking Dead, to tie the whole story together. Not like with a lot of shows where you're watching one episode and it has no, you know, in a lot of cases, just nothing to do with anything that happened before it, like so episodic like that, you know, where everything is, you know, every episode is like self-contained, and they never reference each other, and they never move on, they never advance, there's never progression. You know, The Walking Dead, of course, excels at that, and is the best zombie TV series. I mean, there's not many of them, but the best zombie anything, I think, in terms of a long-term story. And anytime they can tie back into something that happened in the past before, like even a scene or a shot, Really, really cool. So really love that one. That one hit home. Number 4, driving into Atlanta at 5:12. Number 3 is going to be the bridge scene. This is one you guys will probably remember for sure because this was such a weird one. They're on the bridge, great cityscape. They go in, they're looking for information. They're learning about the hospital, or her kind of figuring it's probably the hospital, and him looking for papers to try to get an idea of an address or something. And then, of course, the walkers slowly come up. They try to fight their way out. They can't really. They get back in, and they decide they're going to have to go over. Now, it wasn't too high up, and of course, they're inside, of the van, so it will, for the most part, protect them. I mean, they may get hurt a little bit, but it was still kind of a crazy idea to let it go over. But at that time, there were so many zombies around. I guess it made sense that they wouldn't be able to fight their way out, I guess. So with this one now, the one problem with this scene, it was an awesome scene, by the way, really exciting, really cool, something different. We've never seen anything like it before. But one thing I will say with this one, and people did point this out, and I noticed this too, when it goes down, the van goes down like this, right? As the walkers push and they kind of push forward, boom, it goes down like that. Now, because due to the height, I would say that realistically it would go down and then it would flip. It would go down and flip once, okay, and come down so that they'd be upside down, and the top of the van would hit, right? The top would smash, and they would land on the top. I don't think it makes sense that it would go down. It would flip once to the back, and then it would flip again so that the wheels would land. And also the way they cut it didn't look like that. Like the first cut looked like it was flipping once, and then they show it landing, and it's like it's on its tires again landing. So it wasn't perfect, and that's a small nitpick, but it was still an awesome scene. We get the point, in a comic book, version, you would just have it like one there, and then show them going over, and then at the end of the story, the comic book, you'd have it just, landing there like that. So it didn't 100% flow through smoothly, I would say. But, we can give him a pass for it. It was still an awesome scene, even though it didn't transition perfectly, and that's a small gripe for how awesome the episode was. So that's number 3. Number 2 is going to be Noah showing up out of nowhere. This one I just liked a lot, and I didn't pick the one later on with Noah when Daryl hits him down, and then the whatever that was, bookcase or big shelf thing falls on top of him. But the one when he first shows up, I thought was pretty intense because he comes out of nowhere. You're like, oh shit, it's him. It's Noah. Oh, there he is. And he takes their stuff. It's like, what? We just got robbed by this kid. It was just, wow. It's like Daryl and Carol get robbed by Noah with a gimp leg. I did not see that coming, but it made sense. She goes through, her gun can't fit, she puts it out. He's waiting there, he grabs it. Well, he's pretty tough, pretty crafty, and was following them, obviously. So, yeah, I did like that scene quite a bit. Now, the weird thing was I talked about this in my review a bit, was that Carol goes to shoot him in his gimp leg, and Daryl hits her hand. But now somebody in the comments did say that, and this makes a lot of sense, that Daryl has a soft spot for kids because he had the book with him, and that you guys saw that. And of course, we know that he's had a troubled childhood. So troubled youth, Daryl has a soft spot for troubled youth. So okay, makes sense. I get it. Okay, I guess it makes sense. All right, now. But it was still a really exciting scene, and I liked afterwards too when they caught up with them and they got their stuff back. Then, of course, the best scene of the episode, or the most exciting for me, best scene would have to be at the end when Carol just gets hit by the car out of nowhere. It was shot really well because I like when they do that with The Walking Dead, where it doesn't feel like it's a TV show at all. It's like it just happens, like real life, like a car crash. Like you're just standing there and just boom, all of a sudden something just happens, right? They did that too with Axel in season 3 when the governor just shoots him when he's mid-sentence with Carol. I think he was talking about his brother. Next thing you know, he's like, his mouth's open, he's talking, and boom, he gets shot through, right? Same type deal. Like we're just watching, we're not knowing what's going to happen, and then, just boom, you just get smoked by this car. And it's like, what? What happened? So, and then, Daryl's ready to lose his shit and go murder these guys, maybe torture them too. I don't know. We'll see. But Noah holds him back and says, no, it's the hospital. They'll take care of her, whatever. It's not going to work, so this type of thing. So, which from his perspective makes sense. And I don't know if Daryl would have killed them and saved her, would she have survived? I don't know. It's tough to say, but it makes sense that they made that decision. So those are my top 5. The City Walker scene at about 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Driving into Atlanta, same scene as Rick, just at night with Daryl and Carol. Loved it. Same like Pan, and just same look overall, right? Same scene type deal, same location, everything. The bridge scene, Noah showing up and ganking them, taking their stuff, robbing them. And then number 1, Carol getting smoked out of nowhere by the officer's car. So wow, cool stuff. So I thought it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. And upon second viewing, the environment, man, it gets me. I love to see that. We need to see that too, because with The Walking Dead, we don't want it to just be like, oh yeah, it's in the woods all the time, or it's always in the forest or whatever. No, we need to see different locations. We need to get that feel of what the zombie apocalypse Walking Dead world is like. And episodes like this are crucial to give us a break from that usual, roaming around in the forest type deal, right? It absolutely crucial, to me anyway. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about these top 5. Maybe what your top 5 favorite are. Write them in the the comments below. And if you missed the review, I'll put the links right up here for the review and for my predictions on what's going to happen next week. If you missed either of them, check them out, guys. And yeah, that's it for this top 5 countdown video. I'll see you guys probably. I got one for tomorrow, comic book series. And then if you guys have any of the video discussion topics, send them to me, as well as Q&A questions for this week. Send them to me. Yeah, if you guys liked it, please thumb it up. Please like it. If you want to help support me, share it, favorite it. And that's it for this video, guys. See you for the next one. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace.